So our summary of today's session. So we're going to go through in payroll posting account setup. What are the minimum required posting accounts for payroll? We're going to look at the logic behind how GP chooses which account to post to for each type of payroll transaction. And then we're going to look at the best processes for updating your existing posting accounts and for adding new ones into the system. So our payroll posting accounts and how they go to the general ledger is all available within your main GP menu. If you go to Tools, Setup, Posting, and then Payroll accounts. So you'll be greeted with a little window that looks like what you see on the left here. So for our payroll posting account setup, we have control over a bunch of different aspects of it. So basically anything that you could think of processing through payroll. So whether it's wages, federal, state, local taxes, deductions, benefits, all those sort of things have control over how that goes into your general ledger. We also have control over unemployment taxes for state and federal, and then workers' comp taxes. But those aren't actually used during the payroll process. Those just come into play when you do your period end posting routines. But the setup for those accounts are all within this same window. So for each of these, there are kind of a minimum required setup for each of those different types. So all types should have a line that is what we call all. So that's all departments, all positions, and all codes. So all represents all possible values of each of those. And basically that means if GP can't find a more detailed record to match to, it's going to use this as kind of the catch-all account. And so in order to even process payroll, you do have to have those baseline accounts in place. That's definitely something that will that can um, catch people up is that, if you don't have those default accounts in place, or maybe you were making changes and you accidentally overwrote those default accounts, you'll see error messages when you try to process your payroll through the build checks window. Um, and I've got a link in the presentation here. If you go and search for this Microsoft Learn article about um, a posting account error in the build check file, it outlines all the ones that you have to have by default. So some of them, like the federal tax and employer's tax expense, have to have more specific lines to cover each of the different types of taxes, but any of those could be missing. And so use that article to reference what exactly you need as your default for all the accounts that are required. So once you have all those baselines set up, then we can talk about how GP goes and looks into the more detailed setup. So with payroll posting accounts, we're looking at three different values: the department that the employee worked, the position that they worked in, and then what code we're referencing. So the code can be, it depends upon what type of payroll of account type we're looking at. So with gross pay, we're looking at what pay code did they use. If we're looking at like deduction expenses or benefit expenses, we're looking at those specific deduction or benefit codes. Taxes are a specific tax type, and so on. The most important thing to remember with this is that GP will always match from the most specific entry it can, starting with the department, then the position, and then the code. So it always goes from left to right down the line, finding the most detailed entry it can. So a good example of that is in the setup that I have here for my gross pay. You can see I have a line in there for all departments, all positions, and the vacation pay code. And then I have a line in there for the sales department, all positions, and all codes. So if I have a person that works in the sale department and uses the vacation code, what's going to happen is GP is going to see that I have a line for department sale. And so it's going to match to that first. And because all positions and all codes fall under that, it's going to use that line. It will not use the line for all departments, all positions, and the vacation code because that's not as detailed in GP's eyes as the line that we see below it. So that's a really important thing to recognize. And that can kind of come into play as you go and add new payroll posting accounts into your setup, is that you need to make sure when you have those detailed breakdowns with departments that you keep the same level of detail through each department. So for example, in this case, if I want that vacation code to go to its own separate account, what I'd have to do is add lines into here for each of my departments. So I'd have to add one for the accounting department, one for the admin department, one for the sale department that specifies that vacation code. And those might all end up going to the same account, but because of that level of detail I have on the department, I need to add those lines to each of the department records. So when you do have changes like that, you added in a new code, or maybe you're adding in a whole new department and you want to kind of copy or add in new posting accounts to the setup, the ways that you can make changes are here, when you add a new code or a new posting account, you can do that right within this window. And I kind of talked about this. So if you add a new department, a new position, new code, make sure you also update your posting accounts. And the amount of change or the level of change that you'll have to make really depends upon how detailed you've gotten with your posting account setup. So kind of that same example here with this new vacation pay code, I would have to add a sale department vacation code line, an accounting department vacation code line, so on and so forth. So you can do that all within the same window, or the other place that you can go and look at your payroll posting accounts is within the navigation list. So this is actually from your HR and payroll window. Um, you can go to the payroll posting accounts navigation list on the left hand side, and then you can kind of see things in a little bit more universal output. So if you're not familiar with these navigation lists, they're very similar to like a smart list where you can see each column and more easily sort on those columns. At the top here, you can see you can add filters. So if I wanted to add a filter and only look at a specific posting account type, I could do that. Or maybe I want to see, what accounts do I have set up for my accounting department? And so you can use this window to kind of see it um, you know, sliced out that way. So within this window, if you want to make changes, you can just double click a record that you see in here and it'll pop up a little sub window, and you can go ahead and make a change to the account, or maybe you want to switch the department or anything like that. You can do that within here. Um, you can also take this list and send it to Excel. So in the upper left corner, you see there's that Excel button. When you click on that, you'll have two options. One is to export to Excel, and the other is to import from Excel. So when we're talking about making large changes to our payroll posting account, like for example, we're adding a new department, what we can do is we can export our list to Excel, then use Excel filters to show us all posting accounts for a specific department. So, for example, let's say our accounting department, we can copy all those lines, add them onto the end of our list, and then just change those lines and include them in the full list. Um, and then just alter the account numbers or change them as I need from there. So that's probably the easiest way to make those changes, and especially when we get into environments where we do have very complex setups. Every department has its own different breakdown, but then for our 10 different pay codes, we need to have those all go to different accounts within that department. Things like that, it can get very complicated, and so using the Excel export like that is really nice to help us make those updates. Then once you have that spreadsheet all updated, you can save it and then import it back in using the same window. The most important thing to remember with this process is that you always want to import your full list of payroll posting accounts. I've seen people fall into the trap of just trying to import in the changes. Well, GP assumes that that's your full list, and then it deletes everything, and all you have in the system are now the changes. Luckily, you hopefully have some saved Excel records that you can use to recover those. But it's really important to make sure you import the full list, so all your prior accounts plus the new ones that you added. Um, and when you go to do that import process as well, if there are any issues, if you had an account that was incorrect, or maybe you had some duplicate lines or something like that, you will get a validation report that says if there are any issues. And if that's the case, it won't import anything and you can make your fixes and then try it again. So um, that's really the big high level crash course on these payroll posting accounts. It's one of those things that kind of once you have it set up and ready to go, as long as you're not making a lot of changes in your system, you might never have to look at these again. But sometimes it does come up where you find those scenarios where an amount is posting to an account that you don't expect, and so it's a combination of identifying, what department and position and code is that record using, and then matching that up here with how that's set up within payroll or within the posting accounts. Half the time, I would say it is, we're missing a posting account setup and we need to add something in there. The other half of the time, it might be, oh, that employee is assigned to a department that I didn't expect, and now they're going to a different payroll posting account. So both those can happen when we're doing those sort of reviews.